Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This is Dari on WorldStreams Radio. Thank you to our listeners from around the world for joining us. To learn more about WorldStreams, visit our website, worldstreams.org. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/worldstreams and facebook.com/worldstreams.worldmusic. and our past programs are also available on iTunes. Our guest tonight is Bahar Movahed. Iranian singer Bahar Movahed gives a new voice to the music of the Kurds. Bahar's new CD, Goblet of Eternal Light, was just released this past April. Kurdish music, though, was not the focus of Bahar's early training. As a singing prodigy, she pursued the study of Persian classical and traditional music, winning acclaim for her remarkable control and very pure tone. But she couldn't hold back her Kurdish side, so she sought out Ali Akbar Maradi, a true master of the tanbur. The tanbur has a legacy reaching back more than 5 millennia. The result, after several years of study, is the new CD, Goblet of Eternal Light, a hauntingly beautiful album of intertwined tanbur and vocals, drawing on centuries of Kurdish musical and poetic traditions. Hello and welcome, Bahar. It's an honor and pleasure to have you with us on WorldStreams.
Thank you, Dari. Honored to be on your show, and thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome, Bahar. We just heard a beautiful piece of music from your new CD, Goblet of Eternal Light, at the beginning of the program. Can you tell us a little bit about the song that we heard?
Allah Waisi is one of the ancient maqams of Kurdish tambur repertoire, and in the primary form of the scale and intervals are formed in a way that it can also sound like the Awaz Isfahan of the Radif, the melodic collection of Persian traditional music, or the minor scale in Western classical music. The words are by Molavi Kurd, who was an Iraqi Kurdish poet of 19th century. We made this song in 2 parts in the album, and in the second part, Allah Waisi 2, the words are deeply emotional for me. I can still come to tears when I sing it or listen to it. It might not sound as moving when literally translated, but it's exceptionally emotional in Kurdish. Loosely translated, it goes like this. My beloved, I have been awaiting your visit while on my deathbed, so I can pave your way through my dear life.
Oh, beautiful. Very touching words. Thank you. Bahar, what inspirations led you to embark on this marvelous musical journey that you find yourself on?
Well, I was brought up in an art-loving environment, and I was very curious to learn the arts. And with my mother being a painter, I started to learn to paint from her, and my father also encouraged me to learn music. When I was 8 years old, my father taught me basic notes in a popular piece by the Iranian composer Javad Marufi on piano. But I started my official training a year after the end of the Iran-Iraq war, when I was 11. And this time I had a piano teacher who taught me the basics of music and some popular Western classical pieces. And a few years later, when I was 14, we started to have frequent gatherings with my father's Kurdish friends, and some of them were proficient music players. So I had the honor of learning to play tambur as my first Iranian instrument under the great maestro Amrullah Shah Ibrahimi. And later I also learned to play tar and sitar, 2 other stringed instruments before focusing on my vocals. But from the very beginning, when I started playing Iranian instruments, I used to also sing along for the pieces that had lyrics, and my family and friends who enjoyed my voice would often encourage me to sing. But I remember that when I was 18, I listened to a piece by the female Iranian singer Parisa, where she was accompanied by Hossein Alizadeh on tar, and that song impressed me very, very deeply. And it was in that moment, and with the way Parisa's voice touched my heart and my soul, that I realized that I wanted to be a vocalist. And at that time, I was not too concerned with how good a singer I was, but I knew that I wanted to recreate that feeling. So This was how I started this journey and finally decided to, focus on singing.
Not too long ago, you left Iran and came to the United States, and it's not always easy adjusting to a different culture. What kind of cultural differences did you notice? Anything strange or very different?
I came to US in September 2010, and I feel that the people of Iran and the United States share a lot of things, and our similarities are much greater than our differences. Yet there are quite a few things that are new to me here. I wouldn't say I found anything strange, but there are things that I had to adjust to. For instance, the US has a capitalist system and a free market driven economy that is quite different from Iran. So there is this emphasis on monetary issues that shows up at all levels of the society and the culture, something that took some time for me to adjust to. In Iran, things are a bit more relaxed, less about money and more about people and their feelings and these sort of things. On the other hand, the system in Iran is not even remotely as efficient. Then there are some differences in people's general behavior, which I guess goes back to the different backgrounds of Eastern and Western culture. And overall, I'd say that they both have their pros and cons, and I just try to mix the good parts of the two.
Yes, a beautiful fusion of East and West is always good, the best of each. Your new CD, Goblet of Eternal Light, is a meeting of cultures and traditions. It's a theme running through it. Can you tell us more about the inspirations for that and how it all came about?
Well, the inception and recording this album coincided with the time when I was getting ready to move to the US, and we ended up releasing the album here since we wouldn't have been able to get permission in Iran with a woman as a vocalist. Mr. Moradi wanted to accompany the different Kurdish dialects with the sound of the tambour, which is traditionally unprecedented. And normally the tambour accompanies only the music of one or two Kurdish groups and isn't used beyond that. Mr. Moradi's goal was to promote unity between different groups of the Kurdish people and bring them closer together. So since I was to be the singer, we agreed to create a mystic romantic atmosphere in the work, themes that are rarely sung by women. I'm very glad that we went down that road, and although my first album turned out to be in Kurdish rather than Farsi, I'm happy that it has a message of love and unity.
How did you meet Ali Akbar Moradi, and what was it like working with such a master? Ali Akbar Moradi composed 4 of the songs on the album. They're his original music, and the other 3 are his arrangements of folk tunes.
Well, Mr. Moradi is mostly known as a tambour master, but he is also a great Kurdish singer. However, he normally only accepts tambour students and not students for vocal training. A few years ago, I asked Mr. Moradi to teach me some Kurdish songs and maqams, and he knew about my Persian classical training and my background, and as reluctant as he was, when he saw me so interested and passionate about learning to sing in Kurdish, he said, okay, I'll give you 1 lesson, and if you do it right, I'll make an exception and teach you. So I guess I did it right, and after a few sessions of his classes, he suggested that I perform with him in his US concerts, which later led to the making of this album. And I can say that working with Maestro Moradi has been a truly great and unique experience for me.
You bring a new voice to Kurdish music, especially being a woman. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I can confidently say that there are no other female Kurdish singers. It's possible that there are other female Kurdish singers out there that are doing great work that I am not aware of. But I do know that our album has special focus, which I think it makes it quite unique, and that is to act as a bridge to unite different Kurdish groups.
Let's listen to another piece of music from Goblet of Eternal Light. The title of this song is Goblet of Wine.
Oh
How beautiful. That was mesmerizing. Bahar, can you tell us a little bit about the song?
Sure. The song Goblet of Wine is a rearrangement of a folk song which used to be sung with the famous lyrics of Varan Varane. And Mr. Moradi has used a beautiful poem by Said Saleh Kermanshahi and turned this song into a very delicate love song. In this poem, the poet describes the beauty of his beloved with deep sorrow because he's away from his love. And he says that it looks like that he is drunk from a goblet of wine, but indeed he is drunk from her deep dark eyes.
Oh, the deep dark eyes. Beautiful, thank you. So, what are your plans now and in the near future for your music?
Well, I think that I have obtained most of the lessons and techniques that I needed to gain from my teachers in more than 10 years of vocal training, and now is a good time for me to really focus on what I have learned and refine it and crystallize my own method of singing in the years to come. And I think this is only a beginning of my journey, and it will take much more focus and dedication. I have plans to have more albums as well as live concerts, and singing in Kurdish was a fantastic experience that I always dreamed of, especially since I have Kurdish roots on my father's side. But at the moment, I think my future work would be more in the traditional Persian music and performances in Farsi, which is my main interest and is something that I've been trained for during most of these past years. That said, I will always be looking forward to the future, and I believe that life always has great and unexpected opportunities to offer, and I think this album was one of them. As selective as I am with my work, I will always welcome projects and experiences that help me learn more and to improve myself, and the type of the work that makes me feel good and productive while sharing lovely moments with the listeners, and hopefully helping to bring traditional Persian music to a wider audience.
Thank you so much, Bahar, for taking the time to be with us. I wish you the best. It was a pleasure to speak with you.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me here, and I hope the listeners enjoy listening to the songs as much as we enjoyed making them.
Thank you, Bahar, and thank you to our audience from around the world. Come join us on Facebook at facebook.com/WorldStreams and facebook.com/WorldStreams.worldmusic. In the meantime, Visit our website, WorldStreams.org, for details of upcoming programs and to listen to some of the most exotic music on earth, like Bahar's music. Until the next time, this is Dari on WorldStreams Radio.
So